Okay, this is the setup here. We should have a very good view of everything here. This is the old cut up frame. This is the battery that we fly. This is the 303S and this is the 453S. The original batteries were, of course, a 302S. That was it. So we upgraded to a 3S, and we actually have room for this large 4S, considerably larger battery. Okay, here's what the magic portion of this is. We have a new motor that I'll show on this camera here. I think it shows good here. This motor, you can see how it actually, I've got alignment parts that go in here. I guess I'll do a disassembly of this motor real fast. So this is the entire setup. It will mount on this nose on this plane. If I show you this plane, I haven't really got to the point where I'm ready to put it together. I'm waiting on some glue. So it turns out that it needs to have this is the angles. It will go on perfectly aligned to those marks. Yeah, and I'll use a gap filling epoxy to fill the gaps when I finally get this mounted, and then it will be beautiful, you'll see. In the meantime, let's go ahead and show you what this motor operates like. There's quite a bit of tuning that needs to be done on the motor. Right now it's not tuned up. The ESC needs to be programmed a little bit better. I'm not sure what the deal is, but here's what we've got. Let's go ahead and switch this model to the, I think I called this my A800, yes, and it is on, of course, this motor, this receiver is a TBS tracer. I think this battery's got some juice in it. Boom. All right, we're bound. Look at that. Did you see we actually have bound up? I haven't tried this yet, so let's see. And I didn't glue it together yet, so I can show you. Let's see what happens when I try and give it a little power. There we go. Okay, we're going. It's actually, I think it's, yeah, it's going in reverse. So okay, so we got this guy backwards. I think if I turn it around, it'll probably shoot itself out because I haven't glued it in yet. However, I just want you to see the smoothness of this motor setup. It's quite impressive when it flies because it's just an amazing feel. So okay, I'm gonna give you a little demo. There we go. We're going. I've got complete control. This is a very smooth running motor. Oh, popped it right out. See? Okay. So, anyways, that's where we're at. I'll go ahead and turn this off now. I think we're good. So this is an old electronic setup that I've already built once before. So this is a functional system. You are going to have to create this yourself if you want to make this plane. I use the tracer. There's a number of small 6-channel radios that you can put on this guy. This has turned out really well with, I always use a diversity receiver, so I would use a tracer. Or the FR Sky, I think it's a 6X or something like that. It's a little larger than this, but I've had it in the plane once before and it worked all right till I had it crashed and chopped up with another plane. Okay, so you can see the size of the harness and the radio setup. It needs to be about so large. You're going to need to design and print your own servo board. I might redesign this, as I might, depending on the interest, redesign this little purple piece that I have here, which is a very difficult to draw in my CAD. And so if depending on the interest, I might go ahead and give you guys all these STLs. In the meantime, I'm just going to give you the STL for this and the motor mount. And if that's enough to get your interest, then I'll go ahead and do this guy here and this board, or this little small board. most of you aren't going to be able to solder together a small radio receiver with all this small shit here. It's kind of an expert job. Maybe you can find someone to do it for you if you don't have the soldering setup that you need. It's very small work. This is a good little 6 amp ESC with a 2.5 amp motor. This guy is a very good system. Let's go ahead and disassemble this for you. You'll see real quick. I'm going to put this online maybe and let you just see a generic view of this. Okay, so this guy actually is, I was impressed when I first got it running myself. So we can pull off this guy. This was a design I made, and you can see how it actually turned out to be quite functional. Like I said, I lost it. If there's enough interest, I might go ahead and redraw it for you guys. This motor, I'm going to go and remove it so you can see exactly how it fits together. Normally this would be mounted into this setup. I just did this to show this to you real quick because I'm not really ready to complete it. I'm missing some glue. So, okay, this guy, I actually have a design where you can remove the motor mount fairly easily. Okay, boom. And this motor mount I can mount safely here. And it turns out he's fairly well aligned now since I just redesigned this white guy. And so he's a solid fixture. I have to glue it, and that's always the scary part, putting the couple drops of CA glue in here to hold it. And then after that, I can go ahead and put the whole thing together. But you see how nicely it fits. This guy here, these guys I made for alignment purposes only, because it doesn't really add to the strength. I guess it could. It technically will be the only connection to the frame that has strength. So these guys will fit in there. Everything fits together. And in fact, after it is completely assembled, it'll look something like this. I probably will cut some more off and leave a large gap, and I will fill it with epoxy and micro balloon mixture, which is a very light mixture. And it will turn out to be well, you'll see. It'll be absolutely flawless. It will be a seamless fit. And when I did design and draw this original nose, it was from a several times crashed plane. And so, of course, this nose is a squashed version of what the actual nose was, unfortunately. But I didn't want to redesign it. It's just too much work. And it flies fine. So it's a little shorter than the actual plane. I suppose the actual plane would be out to about here. So it's quite shorter, and I guess that helps because it's a little teeny bit heavier. The motor, of course, is quite a bit lighter, but this and the motor adds up to be about the same weight as the original nose section. And so this and the large battery in the front, this especially, makes this plane fly really well, adding this extra weight. And if you keep the 2S battery, I guess you could probably keep it under 250 grams. These batteries, of course, you're not going to get the lightweight radio or the lightweight setup, but no one's going to know but you. So this is it. I'll let you know what it looks like shortly when I get it all back together. Okay, thank you.